For today's lesson, we will be multiplying decimals, and our standard is 6NS3. I can fluently add, subtract, multiply, and divide multi-digit decimals using the standard algorithm for each operation. So when we multiply decimals, there's a few steps that we need to follow. Number one is we do not need to line up our decimal points. When we're adding or subtracting, we have to line them up. But when multiplying decimals, we do not have to. Now, there will be situations in which they do line up, and that's perfectly fine, but that is not a requirement. So then we multiply the numbers as if they weren't decimals. So we ignore the decimal points, and we just multiply the numbers as if they were two whole numbers. We then count the number of digits after the decimal point in each number, and then we place the decimal point in the product. And so what we do is we take the total number of digits after the decimal points and the two numbers we're multiplying together, and then that tells us how many digits are behind the decimal point in our answer. Okay. So if we take 4/10 times 3, we're going to rewrite that vertically. So 4/10 times 3, and 4 times 3 is 12. So we did our multiplication. We didn't worry about the decimal points. We just took 4 times 3. Then 4/10 has one digit behind the decimal point. 3/10 has no digits behind the decimal point. So our answer requires one digit behind the decimal point. So our answer is 1 2/10. For our second example here of 7 times 1500ths, I'm going to rewrite that. I'm going to put 1500ths first because that number has more digits. And then that kind of makes my work a little bit more efficient here. 5 times 7 is 35. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 3 is 10. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 1500ths has two, excuse me, has two digits behind the decimal point. 7 has no digits, so we need a total of 2 digits after the decimal point in our answer. So our answer is 1 500ths, 1.05. So if I take 9 times 4/10, or 9/10 times 4, sorry, I had that switched around. So I take 9 times 4, which is 36. 9/10 has one digit behind the decimal point. 4 has none. So my answer needs a total of one digit behind the decimal point. So my answer is 3 6/10. For number 2, I have 25 thousandths times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0 again. 25 thousandths has 3 digits after the decimal point. 3 has none. So I need a total of 3 digits after the decimal point. So my answer is 75 thousandths, 0.075. 700ths times 9. So I take 7 times 9, which is 63. 9 times 0 is 0, plus 6 is 6. 9 times 0 is 0. 700ths has 2 digits after the decimal point. 9 has none. So we need a total of 2 digits after the decimal point. So our answer is 6300ths. And then number 4, we have 1400ths times 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 3 times 0 is 0. 2 digits after the decimal point in 1400ths, none in 3. So my answer needs a total of 2. So my answer is 4200ths. So I have 45 thousandths times 7. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 3 is 31. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. And 7 times 0 is 0. We have 3 digits after the decimal point in 45 thousandths. We have none in 7 for a total of 3 digits behind the decimal point. So it's 315 thousandths. 32 hundredths times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25. 8 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. 2 digits after the decimal point, 32 hundredths. None in 8 for a total of 2 digits behind the decimal point. So my answer is 2 and 56 hundredths. For number 7, I'm going to switch those around because 24 hundredths has more digits. So I'm going to put that on top and make my work more efficient. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 2 is 18. Plus 3 is 21. 9 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. There are 2 digits after the decimal point, 24 hundredths. None in 9 for a total of 2 digits behind the decimal point. So my answer is 2.16. 2 and 16 hundredths. And then I have 57 thousandths times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 4 is 34. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. And 6 times 0 is 0. 3 digits after decimal point, 57 thousandths. None in 6. That's a total of 3 digits after the decimal point. So my answer is 342 thousandths. Now that my two numbers I'm multiplying together, both of them will have digits behind the decimal point, but nothing changes here. So we have 4 tenths times 5 tenths. 4 times 5 is 20. And then we look at 4 tenths. 4 tenths has 1 digit after the decimal point. 5 tenths has 1 digit after the decimal point, which means my answer needs to have 2 digits after the decimal point. So I'll put my decimal point in front of the 20. And if you want to, you can put a 0 here in the whole number spot, or you can just leave that out. Either way is perfectly fine. So here I have 2 and 8 tenths times 3 tenths. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 2 is 8. And I don't need to do my second line because they would all be zeros. So 2 and 8 tenths has 1 digit after the decimal point. 3 tenths has 1 digit after the decimal point. So I need a total of 2 digits after the decimal point. So it'd be 84 hundredths. And again, you can leave it like this, or you can put the 0 in the whole number spot. Either way is fine. So I have 3 and 6 tenths times 1 and 2 tenths. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Start the second line with a 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. Add those together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 7 plus 6 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. So as you can tell there, I just multiplied those as if it was 36 times 12. I didn't worry about my decimal points. Now I worry about the decimal points. 3 and 6 tenths has 1 digit behind the decimal point. 1 and 2 tenths has 1 digit. So my answer needs a total of 2 digits after the decimal point. So my answer is 4 and 32 hundredths. So if I have 3 tenths times 6 tenths, 3 times 6 is 18. 3 tenths has 1 digit. 6 tenths has 1 digit. So I need a total of 2 digits. So it's 18 hundredths. And again, if you want to put that decimal point in the front, that's perfectly fine. 9 tenths times 8 tenths. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 has 1 digit, or 9 tenths has 1 digit after decimal point. 8 tenths has 1 digit. So we need a total of 2. So 72 hundredths. And again, you can put that 0 in if you want, or you can leave it off. Either way is fine. 3 and 2 tenths times 6 tenths. 6 times 2 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. 3 and 2 tenths has 1 digit after decimal point. 6 tenths has 1 digit after decimal point. So we need a total of 2 digits after the decimal point. So our answer is 1 and 92 hundredths. And then finally, we have 4 and 3 tenths times 5 and 7 tenths. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 4 is 28, plus 2 is 30. Start the second line with a 0. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. Add those together. 1 plus 0 is 1. 5 plus 0 is 5. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then bring down the 2. 4 and 3/10 has 1 digit after decimal point. 5 and 7/10 has 1 digit after decimal point. So your answer needs a total of 2 digits after the decimal point. So it's 24 and 51 hundredths. 24.51. And then our final couple of examples here, we have 56 hundredths times 1 and 2/10. 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Start the second line with the 0. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 0 is 0. Add those together. 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 1 is 7. 1 plus 5 is 6. Bring down the 0. 2 digits after the decimal point, 56 hundredths. 1 and 1 and 2/10. So your answer needs a total of 3. So our answer is 672 thousandths. And then our final two examples here, we have 89 hundredths times 4/10. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 8 is 32 plus 3 is 35. 4 times 0 is 0 plus 3 is 3. I need 2 digits after the decimal point, 89 hundredths. I have 1 digit after the decimal point, 4/10. So I need a total of 3 digits after the decimal point in my answer. So it's 356 thousandths. And again, if you want to put that 0 in the whole number spot, that is fine, or you can leave it out. Either way is okay. And our final example today, we have 43 hundredths times 1 and 5/10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Start the second line with the 0. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 0 is 0. Add those together. 5 plus 0 is 5. 1 plus 3 is 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. Bring down the 0. I have 2 digits after decimal point here. 1 there. So my answer needs a total of 3. So my answer is 645 thousandths. And that is all for today's lesson. I hope this helps.